In the same way, if I say here, just like I have to limit Simcha in all, so I have to increase Simcha when I come into Chodesh order, then that tends to play down the Simcha of order. But if I would have just said straight away, listen, you have to be freilich in order, then that could be even freilich believable. And here it means, how do they say by the Chassidim and the Yiddish, it's a bit more schurdig, it's a little bit sort of, how do you call it, depressing. Tishkoiras, shall chodesh, right, Mavia Eiter, the very fact that you mentioned, just the putting that into our memories and our minds at this time, that automatically brings a bit of sadness with it. Ella said the Rebbe, we have to say exactly the opposite. That the Gemara wants betuk, how do they say in Yiddish, a verkehrte kavana, opposite kavana altogether. Yes, Gemara, Yebor Lalamid, Shalidei Ashimra, Bechodesh Order, Nitein Lahafeich, Games HaChoshech, Shal Chodesh Ov La'oyer. In other words, exactly the opposite. Not we mention because we want you to cut back a bit on the Simcha like you do in Chodesh Ov. Now, why do we mention Chodesh Ov? We're saying that you have to go through Chodesh Ov into the Simcha of order, and the Kavanah B'zeh is that I have to have so much Simcha in Chodesh order that I will, to use the Chassidish expression, I will be Mavara Chodesh Ov. And what is Chodesh Ov? The Heilige Simcha. So that means that I've got to turn the Simcha of Ov into the Eitav of Ov into a great Simcha. In other words, I've got to be Poyel Hainim from what's called in Siddur Ishapcha, opposite, completely from this level into another level of complete reversal of the whole miyut of Simcha in Ov, and to bring to exactly the opposite, Ela Isabchas Choshech Lo'ohim. It's an amazing idea, and it makes very good sense. Kishaim, just like I come into Ov, I have to do this and this. When I come to order, I've got to do this and this in a way that I will alter what I had to go through in order to reach that. In other words, that I'm being mahapid, the whole thing, from darkness into light. Umikan, shelachoidish order, stay miles. It follows Lefizeh that Chodesh Order has got two great advantages. Milas HaBrocha mitzad Goydel HaSimcha. He said the Mila of the blessing which comes from a great amount of Simcha, or Milas HaFicho Shel HaDvarim Aloi Toivim Sheiru B'Chodesh Ov L'Toiv L'Brocha. In other words, provided mitzad everything that happened in order, like the Simcha Purim and the Bittul of Holman and all those things, there would have been a great amount of Simcha anyway. The Gemara purpose is to emphasize that there's not only just a Simcha that would have had mitzad what happened in order, but there's a Maila Noisefes, an extra Maila, that we're reversing all the inyonim of Ov into Simcha. And we bring them to the table of Bracha. Ad leBrocha Birchas HaGeula Amitis VaShlema Teikuf Miad Mamid. In other words, that if we're going to be mahapik over the inyonim of Ov, then what is Ov? Ov is the inyan for Churban and Beis Hamikdash and the Golas and all those things. If we're going to be mahapik all that into the greatest Simcha, then that means B'Parshas the Geula Amitis VaShlema. Nimtzal Lefizeh that order is as man Masugo Ma'id for the coming of the Geula Amitis VaShlema. But there are klal, says the Rebbe Nifta Chodesh Order K'may B'Shon Hazu B'Parshas Tרומה. But generally speaking, when we come into Rosh Chodesh Order, then we're usually in and around Parsha Tרומה. ומה שנדרשו למצוא את הקשר שבין הפרשה, דהיינו פרשת תרומה, לחודש אדר. ובפרט לחודש אדר ראשון, in a year like this year, when it's Shnas Ayibur, and we have two Chodshei Adar, then it always comes out that Truma as a kesher not only with Chodesh Adar, but with the first Adar. So we need to understand what is the kesher between Truma, Parsha Truma and Chodesh Adar B'Klal, and particularly in a year like this year, what's the kesher with Chodesh Adar Rishon? וגם לקח שהשנה חל, that this year חל ראש חודש אדר בימי שלישי רביעי. What that is Gimel Daled, what is going on that the word Gimel Daled in the Hebrew root is Gad. What that means Mazel. What's going on? The word Gad refers to the concept of Mazel. So, and also the Gemara says in Masechta Shabbos that Gimel v'Daled make the two words Gimul Dalim, taking care and helping the poor as one. But during this particular month, the Eibush is Gimul Dalim b'Evan Mod Miyuchad, and therefore it comes out that the Rosh Chodesh is b'Yemei Shlishi v'Rabi'i. So we understand Ma Kol Zeh Oimelanu. We have to understand why is that so especially emphasized in a Shnas Ayibur, and when it's Chodesh Adar Rishon and it comes out in Parshat Truma. What's it all got to do one with the other? So the Rebbe begins with what's very noticeable. If we look at the beginning at a Parshat Truma, בפרשה מסופר עידס ציווי השם למוישה לקחת תרומות לבניית המשכן מאת בני ישראל. The parsha begins with the commandment of the Hashem to Moshe that he must take trumos from all the Yidden for the building of the Mishkan. Who mefaret, and he states clearly what has to be the type of truma that he should take, or the sugei truma that he should take. V'zoi satruma asher tichu mi'iton zohor v'cheser u'nechosher. And just by the way, it's going to be pointed out a little bit later, but it's good to mention it now, that the Rebbe makes the point that even though it's written in the Pasuk, Tichu mi'eish kol ish asher yidvenu liboy, well, that would imply at first glance that it means only the males, only the grown men. The truth is that they took Truma also from Noshim. Later in Parshat Vayakhel, it's written how the Noshim made a whole effort to bring sewn skins and all sorts of things which women have, they also offered. And even children, in the Binyan HaMishkan, they're paturim the children. It's even written in the Gemara, you don't take children away from their learning, even for the building of the Beis Hamikdash. Of a Truma, the children gave also. As brought down in the Medrash Tanchuma, that the children also bought things for the Mishkan. All Yidden, the whole Chiyur Koima of the whole Jewish people, males, females, and children, all in gave. And so we see that the Seder is, first of all, and then afterwards, Kesef and Nechoshes. V'hador Tamua, so the Rebbe, this is rather wondrous. Mipnei ma maschilo ha'torah davke b'tzivui litrim zohor. Zohor is the most precious of all the metals, and it's the most precious thing compared to a lot of other things that were given. It's put down in Rashi and other Meforshim that the Avnei Shoiham, they were even more precious than Zohar. And they're mentioned at the end, and it's mashma both in the Pasuk and in Rashi that only the Nasiim gave the Avnei Shoiham and the Avnei Maluim. These are precious stones. They're very precious. So they're even more rare than Zohar. But if we take the metals, then Zohar, Kesef, and Achishas, Zohar is the most posh, or how to say the most precious of all those three metals. So why do you begin with Zohar? The implication being that most people, even at that time, even though they had a lot of things that they took out from Mitzrayim, everybody had a lot of stuff that they got from Mitzrayim, but it's much more that there were more rich people and there were less rich people. But later on, by the Matzah Shekel, it's written that the Oshir and the poor man have to give equally. So if there was no Oshir and no poor man, everybody was rich, then it would imply that everybody give equally. And that's what they had to give a Matzah Shekel. Over from that, we realize that there were Oshirim and there were Dalim. So if you're talking to everybody, why do you start with Zohar? Start with the more likely thing that most people would have, which was Nechesed. Nechesed was less precious, and Kesef was more nimtar by ordinary people, so-called inverted commas, ordinary people, than Zohar. And why do you begin with the most precious thing? And that was the first and foremost thing that was demanded from everybody. So the Rebbe says, הדור תמוה מנעימה משחילה התורה דווקא בציווי לתרום זו ולא יבסדר, אוי לא. It should have gone from מלמטה למעלה, נחושת חסד, and afterwards זו. They said to me so, even more than that, מכיוון שסוף כל סוף מדובר בציווי לבני ישראל, and we're talking about a tzivui to the whole club. ובהתאם לכך ישתר להשחשב בעודה שבבני ישראל היו עשירים היו עשירים יויסר ועשירים פחות. The Rebbe doesn't say there were Ashirim and poor people. He said there were big Ashirim and less Ashirim. Now why does the Rebbe say that? Because the Gemara says in Masechet Bechorot that when the Yidden left Mitzrayim, they all had donkeys loaded with all sorts of
goodies,
that they got from the Mitzrayim. So everybody had, quite a lot. So the difference between Ashirim and poor people wasn't really so noticeable at that particular time in what you might call history. The whole metzias of a rich man and a poor man, that only became later when they entered Eretz Yisrael, and it was in the later generation. At that time, everybody was pretty, okay, and everybody was pretty well off. You had donkeys full of, and the interesting thing is that the Gemara used over there a very unusual expression. It says that every Yid had Tishim Chamorim, 90 donkeys. Yes, so the question is, why does it choose the word 90? Say he had 100, 110 is the way to say, 90. So later on, the Rebbe's going to make a whole deal, but just with the Tishim, of putting people had plenty. So therefore, the Rebbe, the difference, if there was a difference in richness, was only relative. There was even Ashirim Yoter, Ashirim Pachot. Hayom in Ra'ui, it would have been proper, Lahaskil B'Trumas Amushutefes L'Kulam, to start off with the Truma, which was more likely to be adequate, common to everybody, Kנסת. In other words, since they had a lot of stuff from Mitzrayim, they all had Kנסת, and they all had Nechesed, plenty of it. The Zohar, not so many had. And the Ramban writes about it, and the Rebbe brings down the Ramban. The Ramban mentions both here and in Pashas Vayakil that not everybody had big quantities of Zohar, even though they bought a lot of things from Mitzrayim. But Zohar was a very rare thing. So they had maybe a bit of a, not Beriwi, of a Kesef and a Chish. They all had plenty of it. So in that case, since this is aimed at the whole general klal of Yidden, that should have started off with Kesef or with Nechesed. He said Kesef and Nechesed v'lo Zohar. Omnam, he said, B'nai Yisrael yotu min Mitzrayim b'shol kaved. He said, it's true that Yidden Taka came out with a great deal of spoil. וכדברי חכמינו שלכל יהודי היו 90 חמורים יעמוסים בכסף וזוהר. אולם אין זה מצדיק. Even if we'll say that doesn't make correct or doesn't rectify. It's a uda shematchilim koydem b'zohar. You don't start off with the less thing that people had. You start off with what is more common to everybody. He said, Kivan Shalamitrim Atzmo, even by the Mitzrim themselves. But this is the point of the Ramban. He makes this point by Riches. Yeah, even by the Mitzrim themselves, Hoya Pocket Zoho, Mayasha Kesefana, Nachisa. If you're going to start off with either Kesef or Nachisa. Why do you start off with Zoho? Walochin Gam, Mibizas Mitzrayim. Afilo von der Biza, that was at the Yamsu. Yotzu b'nai Yisrael be'ika b'shlal kesef u'nechoises. Einach Hanami, they had Zohar, but not in such a tremendous amount as they did kesef u'nechoises. ובכלל, כל הסיבה למעלוסי של הזוהר הוא בגלל שהוא מצוי פחות. Why is it that the world makes a big fuss out of gold? And gold is considered to be a tremendous value, and it's always going up and down in price in the whole matter, and it's always got such a big important thing by people in general. He said the reason for that is because Zohar is a very, very elevated thing, and since it's very elevated, therefore there's less of it around. So even by people who were rich, relatively speaking, one to the other, it's more likely to say they had less Zohar than they had Kesef and Nachoshes. It's a way to say, why do you begin Dafka with Zohar? You talk more B'shaychus to the Klal and say first of all Kesef, and then mention Zohar. Or mention Zohar at the end. I am a see, Shagam LaMishkon, Atzmai, Nidros Yesa Kesef u'Nachoshes Meyasa Zohar. The Rebbe now makes another point. If we take what we actually needed for the Mishkan, to actually build the actual Mishkan, we needed more Kesef u'Nachoshes than we do Zohar. In other words, there's less Zohar in the Mishkan than there is Kesef Nachoshes. And therefore we see, Meyashes of a Kach, Shaloi Nitan Loima Shasibel as Koras as a whole, Beroshina, you can't taina that the reason he mentions the whole at the beginning, Oyasam Mipnei Shatoira Maskira Koidem Esadvorim Achashuvim, Beyeza, Achashuvim meaning those which are important to the Etzem, Mishkan. He said, Aleph, Mishum Sha'avnei HaShoyim Chashuvim Yoter. The Avnei HaShoyim and Avnei Muluim are even more. Come on guys, some guys are sloughing and somebody else is looking somewhere else. It's hard to learn that way. But I follow learn, you know.
He's learning the original.
You got the Turkan over there, no? Very good. Okay, it's just that the oases are bigger here.
Right.
Anyway, whatever.
I can't quote the big word. I can't quote.
Whatever. So he says that you can't say the reason we mentioned Zohar is because it's Choshev Yosef. He said, first of all, that the Avnei Shoyim and the Avnei Meluim, they're even more Choshev, and they're brought down right at the end. So we should have mentioned them first. And he said, Beis, Kivensha, Masha Nagea Khan, who Masha Yechoilim, Yoisa Litre. He said, we're talking mostly when Moshe prays all the Yidden to give, then he's talking in a way that he's talking about what they can give more than what they can give less. He said, Amar Nidras Yoisa B'Mishkan, Avamela, since what people would give is one factor, and together with that, Amar Nidras Yoisa B'Mishkan. Yeah, and what is needed more for the actual Mishkan. So there he said that tshuva l'shtei shaylos eilu kesef u'nechoishes. Yeah, kesef and nechoishes are much more needed, and therefore they have more chashivas. Yeah, l'gabi the Mishkan. So therefore he should have asked from there first. And if you want a tiny which is going according to the order of the chashivas, then it's not like that for Klav, because we see that the most precious things are mentioned davke at the end. Shaila nosefes. The Rebbe says an extra question. Atzivui al trumas hamishkan yehutla al kol b'nei Yisrael kulam. Anoshim noshim v'tav. I mean, the Lashon hutla is rather interesting because it's much more that not so much it was hutal on the children, but they nonetheless gave. They gave. So the Rebbe v'tamua, arei loy matuva poi bebnias bayistam. We're not talking about building, just any building. Ella yebedva pele sheloy hoya kamoyu meyaz brias oilam. The inyan of building the actual Mishkan has in itself a pele which has never been since the actual creation of the world. What is the creation of the world? Yesh mi ayin. So the actual creation of the world was a tremendous pele. But since then, even including Matan Torah, there hasn't been such what you might call a divine pele or divine trick, almost to use the expression, as the binyan hamikdash. Why? He said, "Hakadosh Baruch Hu atzmai all of them." But in reference to him, it's already written in Malachim and Shlomo HaMelech time when he built the base of Mikdash. He said, "Hein hashamayim u'shmei hashamayim lo yichalkalucha." He said, both the heavens and the heavens of the heaven. Yeah, the highest possible ilamas and the highest possible madrigas can't possibly contain you. Yeah? They can't contain the Eibishter. And what did he say, Shlomo HaMelech? Nonetheless, this bias will contain you. This bias will be a place where you'll be able to dwell. Gam hashamayim lo yicholim lahachil. They can't contain as koid Hashem. V'kan bo'elam hazeh b'bayis gashmi HaKadosh Baruch Hu can't yashkin or yishkoin. That davki in this gashmistic bias down here in this world, the Eibus is here going to dwell. So the Rebbe says, al pi goyen abori, according to what you might call a healthy way of looking at it, or a straightforward way of looking at it, b'shvil litzah chidush kol kach nifla. To bring about and to create such a tremendous chiddush that in a physical small bias in this world, the whole Eibishter. You know what Reb Zushia said about the Tanya. You know the famous quote from Reb Zushia. Be'anipollah said that he doesn't know how the Alter Rebbe took such an Ein Sof Tika Eibishter and he fitted him into a little sefer. You know that. That's what Reb Zusha said about the Tanya. So the Rebbe is saying that Shlomo HaMelech, he said the same thing about the Beis HaMikdash. How can you take such a huge Eibishter and fit him into this little house? But nonetheless, that's what happened. And since that's what's happened, that's the biggest chiddush since the time of the Bria. That's what the Rebbe said. Yeah, Bria was yesh mi'ayin. This is somewhat got even an extra immensity even over yesh mi'ayin. So the Rebbe said, according to normal ways of thinking, Hegoy and Abori means normal ways of thinking, what would you say? That in order to bring about such an amazing pele, you need anoshim miyuchadim b'yoysa. You need the most special, high, elevated people that they should have the schus to bring about such a tremendous thing. So the Rebbe said, nailim v'chashuvim bo'evim miyuchad. These people should be tremendously elevated and tremendously important people in the most special way. Va'eki tochen, and how does it make any sense? Shekol yeled ve'isho. The Rebbe stresses the noshim. that even women and children should be able to bring down such a pillar that will be in this particular way, that the Eibishter Unlimited will dwell in such a house. So there was the Rebbe, ואיך תוכן שכל ילד ואישה יוכל גם כן ליצור חידוש נפלא כזה. ובפרט שהתרומה צריכה להיות לשם השם. Rashi stresses in both places. First of all, it's written by Yichu Li Truma. Rashi says Li Lishmi. Yeah? And later the actual Asuli Migdot, Rashi says Asu Beit Kedusha Lishmi. And the Rebbe brings down from the great Meforshim and the great, what you might call early Poiskim, that they say that everybody who goes for the Truma, for the Mishkan, had to give it Lishmo. He had to have in mind and give it, completely for the sake of the Shem Hashem. That's why he's giving. That's called Lishmo. So the Rebbe said, it follows, if he said, Vaktanim Vanoshim Hareloi Tomid, Ye'oyudem Es Hashem Lishmo. He says, Freud particularly tend to be very practically minded, they're not into high, kavanas that they're giving only lishmo and nonetheless, the Rebbe said, we see that the whole chiddush and nifla took place through the ordinary people, the women and the children. However, the Rebbe puts in brackets, the Rebbe said, if we examine a bit more carefully, we see that who actually built the Mishkan, Bupoyo, was Betzalel. Now, he said Betzalel was a very special person. I think Gemara says about him that he knew how to be Betzalel for all the Yoshis. Shebahem Nivru Shamayim Ba'oretz. And he even had an argument with Moshe Rabbeinu, and he proved to be right with the whole thing. So we see that Betzalel was a very special person. Moshe Rabbeinu, who told him what to do, he was even more special. Moshe Rabbeinu heard directly from Hashem what to do, and the others that they do it, the Torah tells us later that they were all chachmei lay. In other words, they were big people. They were very gifted people, and they were able to be machaber and everything the proper way. The Rebbe said, however, if all the Pashut of people hadn't forked out the money, all these people, even Betzalel, he wouldn't have been able to do anything. So Ein Hanami, he put what you might call the shape into things. But what actually made the Beis HaMikdash, was Pashut of people. He said even Noshim and even Kinder. They're the ones that made the actual Beis HaMikdash possible. So the Rebbe says that's a rather interesting thing. And it had to be Lishmo, had to be completely disinterested giving for the sake of Hashem. The Rebbe said that's interesting, that usually that doesn't occur by Pashut of people, number one. And how come the Dafki, the Pashut of people, they made possible the whole thing. So now the Rebbe is going to say a most amazing chap, and hopefully we'll be able to get a little bit of what it's all about. And the Rebbe says, "Ahizbal kahu shehatzivui ala mishkan nema le'achar matan Torah." The commandment to build the Mishkan was given to Yidden Davke after Matan Torah. So the Rebbe says, what happened on Matan Torah? But again, to every Yid, what actually really occurred by the giving of the Torah to Yidden, apart from the fact that Yidden had a lot of mitzvahs now that they didn't have before. What actually happened in the, what you might call the mahus and the makeup of every Yid? What happened? So the Rebbe says, "Me'or shakarish bocho amar kol Yehudi v'Yehudi anoichi Hashem Elokecha noitza etzu kol Yehudi kesher atzmi im HaKadosh Baruch Hu." After Matan Torah, when the Eibishter said, talking in Lashon Yochid, Anoichi Hashem Elokecha, the koyach and the chayis Elokecha, of every Yid became Anoichi Hashem. The very essence and the Shema, which is the Shema Vayit, they became the inner koyach of every Yid. So the Rebbe said, what does that mean? Kesher bilti nifrad, gam biyos ayudi kan lamata neshama bigor. Even though he's down here in this world, neshama inside the body, nonetheless he has this amazing kesher that he lives literally with the life power of an Havaya Elokech. And like we said on many occasions, that what it follows in Tanya and everything, that every Yid is Elokus on 2 feet. Every Yid, every neshama of every Yid has got in itself Ein Sof Baruch. Yeah. Here he says clearly that. Now he goes on to say even more. He says that it's brought down in the Midrash and in many, many places in Chassidus that before Matan Torah there was a Gezerah, how do you call it? Like a divine decree in the whole creation that a Shamayim Shamayim Lashem Va'oretz Nasa Livnei Adam, meaning that Elyonim Hayu Elyonim V'Taktoinim Hayu Taktoinim V'Ein Taktoinim Oilim L'Elyonim V'Ein Elyonim Yerdim L'Taktoinim B'nai Roimi Lo Yerdu L'Surya V'B'nai Surya Lo Yalu to use the expression of the Midrash. What happened by Matan Torah was that Gezerah finished. And the Eibishter, he said, I'm going to be the first one to be Mevatlet. And he said, Vayered Hashem al Har Sinai. Hashem came down specially onto Mount Sinai, Dahainu, that the Ki Elyain came down to the Ki Tachtoin. And Elyanim and Taktoinim joined together, they formed a unity together, one with the other. So the Rebbe says that what happens is that by every Yid, there's a Chelech Elokah Mimal. So Eina Chanami, that was Nifar, the obvious Kemavur Batanya. That was there even before. But the obvious lived in a spiritual world. It was a very high and elevated thing. Over the Chelech Elokah Mimal inside a Yid should come down, mamish, into the ordinary life, the physical life in this world, and join up, and the Yid should be able to measure the world, the physical, gashmistic world, with his nefesh elokis. Well, that happened on Matan Torah. And when on Matan Torah nimtza that the highest part of a Yid and the simple world and the simple life that he lives in Gashmias all became one Indian together, inseparable, which means that you can't alter that. A Yid has got a connection between the Kelech HaKi Elyain and the Kelech HaKi Taktoin in his physical life, the way he lives in this world. And that happened to Matan Torah. In other words, on Matan Torah, you were given the koyach, all the Yidden were given the koyach to light up their bodies and the world with the nefesh elokis in a way they become one. So the Rebbe said, Imkei, the followers of he said that there's a tremendous thing has happened, that inside every Yid, the Elyonim and the Taktoinim have become united, inseparable, and you can't change that. It's an unchangeable thing. Because when Hashem said, he meant it for all time and for everybody and for all places. And it follows that on Matan Torah it doesn't matter. Even if Chas v'Sholem, a Yid will drift away from the details of the 613 commandments, but nonetheless he remains that inside he's a living unity of Elyonim and Taktoinim, which means all you're going to do is reveal that, of it's there, by every Yid. So that's what he goes on to say now. Says the Rebbe, Kesher bilti nifrad. Even he's down here in this world. Without making any difference the way it looks in Chitzonius, A Yid may look in Chitzeni, it's not so good. However, he said, Pnimiuso shekol Yehudihi shehu echad im HaKadosh Baruch Hu. ולכן, גם אם נראה שהעבודתו של יהודי הוא שלא לשמו, in other words, he's only thinking of himself, even if he does good things, he's only thinking of himself. He said, "Ve'ein hu oived es Hashem be'emes," in other words, meaning mamish lishmo, ach kol ze u k'lapei chutz, all this is only legabe the chitonius, legabe the outside. He said, "Ki be'etzem kol Yehudi oyev es HaKadosh Baruch Hu, v'chofetz lamale es retzeinoi be'emes." He said, the truth is that every year, he, how do you say, loves the HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's Perek Yud Ches and Yud Tes in Tanya, that every Yid's got Ahava Mesuteret, and he said every Yid really wants to do Hashem's will. Do you know what the proof of that is? A famous proof. It's a famous Rambam, and the Rebbe brings it down. The famous Rambam in the little Scarishan, that there's certain times when you can force, you can make what's called a get mu'useh. When the Baal divorces his wife, he's got to do it berotza. He can't divorce forcibly. But under certain circumstances, when the peasant sees that we have to make a divorce, it's for everybody's benefit, then you can force the guy to give the get berotza. And it's written, Shemaki noisoi at sheyema roi ta'ani. You can hit him and clap him until he will say, "Where's I want?" So the Rambam brings that down in Hilchos Gershon, in Perek Beit. And the Rambam brings it down. The Rambam said, "Well, it doesn't make any sense because you're clapping him." And then he said, "Roi ta'ani." If so, he doesn't really want. So what have you earned by doing that? He's always saying Roi ta'ani, it's at the clap. So he's not saying Roi ta'ani because he really wants. So the Rambam said, "Oh yes he is." And the Rambam writes a whole piece that Kol Yehudi, Kol Echad V'Echad Mitzrah, Reitze Be'emes U'V'Tomim L'Kayim Es Ratzon Hashem. And here it's Ratzon Hashem according to the Chachomim. It's going through the Chachomim. He said he really wants to do everything with Ratzon Hashem. We see sometimes he's not like that. He said that it's like, is it Yetzer Hara takes a pix, and he doesn't write a pix. Yetzer Hara holds him up and ointzai, how do you say ointzai? He forces him, obliges him to do it. That he falls into the hands of his Yetzer Hara. Well, the Yetzer Hara trays him a call. He mitzad his very essence, he wants to do it. So when you beat him like that, all you're doing is really revealing his emesuva. That's what the Rambam writes. And so the Rebbe brings that down, Varichas, and he said it follows. He said every year, don't look at the outside. You look on the inside. The pnimis of atzmis, he wants to keep Ratzon Hashem. It doesn't look that way b'poil because he's in the hands of, he's being held up at ransom by his Yetzer Hara. And Mamela said the Rebbe V'lochein L'kol Yehudi yeshna efshoriyas livnois mishkan l'Hashem. Since every year is b'lavachim perfect inside, it's at the etzem nefesh l'kis, then he's able, and he's got the ability to build the base of Miday. Ki b'kivan shegam kan b'olam hazeh, gam kan b'olam hu mi'uchad im HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Even in this crazy world here, he's really one thing with the Eibishter. V'avidosa hu lishmo, even though it may not look that way. Lochein yesh b'koicha ligroim shegam ha'olam yeh mokim muchan u'matiyim legilui kvod Hashem kavi shehoya v'mishkan. Every Yid can give and can do and can contribute to the being a bias lishmoi Yisborah. And Mamela said the Rebbe, if that's the case, then we'll understand why Zohar is mentioned first. And he's going to say that who is the Zohar? The Yid himself is the Zohar. It's the most amazing concept. So the Rebbe said, Kol Yehudi Hu Zahav. That's the heading. He said, Koeis Novin Yegam Madua HaTorah Yitchila Davke B'Zohar. He said, B'kesher L'nidvus HaMishkan. He said, HaZohar Ki Yadua Eina Oid Sug Matechet. Zohar is not just any other piece of metal laying around the plate. אלא זהוב, זהוב מסמל בעצם את הדבר היוקו והחושו ביעיסה. And therefore the Ramban and all them right, and if you look in Pekudei, the amount of zahov that was actually used in the base of Midas was less than everything, all the other metals. So the Rebbe says from Uja, because zahov is the very great specialty in the Bria. And therefore you want to say about something that's really unusually blessed with a milah or with advantages, and what do you say? Oh, it's Mamish gold. Or you want to say about something, you say, oh, zahav. In other words, that the word gold is a way of saying the most praiseworthy and unusual perfection. So Rebbe says to Rebbe, אם אנו בואים לבדוק עד כמה יש צורך בעזור במשכן, if we go to examine exactly how much they need Zohar in the actual Mishkan, or כמה יהודים יכולים לתרום Zohar, and how many people were actually able to give Zohar, או כן, אין כל צורך להזכיר Zohar בראשון. אין לחנמי, לפי זה there wouldn't have been any reason to mention Zohar at the beginning. Ulam, he said, however, kan maskira hateres ha-Zohar leikadova b'fnei atzmai. Not to show what is the most choshu, or what is the most important, or who had most of it, and so on and so on. That's not the issue at all. Ela, kefi shuhu koshu ela Yehudi. How the infant Zohar is joined up with the very mahus of a year. And therefore what we're saying is that since this is a house of Hashem, and this is a house that has to be built lishmor with all the milas, first thing is, they're the very essence of a yid. He's got to be the one that's going to bring it about. What is he? He is the whole. So the Rebbe is learning the infant Zohar in a different way altogether. It's kashu with the etzem people that they made and they are Zohar. And therefore they're the first thing to be mentioned. I see Oli Guy's very when I was young I used to pull off my chair. I said everybody's very
we realize our worth.
Oh, that's exactly the point. In other words, the Rebbe says we're talking not about what was used to build the Mishkan, we're talking about the etzem inyan of the people who make the Mishkan. And he said, all of them are Zahav. And don't have a mistake that look at somebody say, he's Zahav, he's not even a Chayshas. He's not even a Chayshas. No, he's also Zahav. It's just that you don't notice it. And now we'll understand why it is that the Rebbe spent hours and hours and hours giving dollars to you. The Rebbe every Sunday, 6 or 7 hours. The Rebbe would stand and give well, it's gold, it's not gold, but it's money. The Rebbe would give money, $1 to you. So somebody wants us, the Rebbe, where do you get the koyer and the time? Well, Bavitch Rebbe is the busiest man in the world. How does he get the koyer and the time to spend? So what did the Rebbe answer? The Rebbe answered that if you're counting diamonds, then you have time. And you also have koyer. If you're counting your diamonds, you don't look at the clock and you don't say, oh, I'm terribly tired, I can't count my diamond. That's exactly what the Rebbe is saying here. That the whole thing is that Zohar represents the etzem people that they are the Mishkan. So therefore he says, where are we? מזכיר, I'm sorry. אוקיי, אין כל צורך להזכיר זזו בראשון. אולם כאן מזכירה תרא זזו לא כדוב בפני עצמי, אלא כפי שהוא כושר אל היהודי. וכאשר אנו מסתכלים על מצבו של כל יהודי, הרי שכל יהודי הוא זהו. Every Yehudi is be'etzem, he is a ho. And the Rebbe is going to say, be'etzem, every Yehudi is the biggest Oshir in the world. And there's no interrelated, less Oshir or more Oshir. Everybody's the same Oshir, because everybody's got the same Nefesh Elokis. And so the Rebbe is going to say towards the end of the Sikha, that if that's the case, then every Yid has to be an Oshir, a Philibert, אפילו
גשמיס.
If he's a Oshir, כל כך ברוך נהיה, that he's got to be a Oshir b'gashmias. And the Rebbe said, even if at this particular moment he might claim that he's not a Oshir b'poil, the Rebbe said it's built himself that in a short while around he's going to be. Yeah, it's really absolutely amazing. But not. But everybody's either he is already rich or he's going to be rich. In Gashmias, keep short. Yeah, that's what the Rebbe said.
You have to take the sikha to the bank and tell, I'm sorry, I'm rich man.
Cancel the minus and start doing the deposit.
Walk into your bank manager and say, listen man, give me a loan for a couple of million, you know.
Tell him, sign me here.
Give me a loan for a couple of million, and he'll say, wait a minute, Jerry, you have a couple of thousand, what's it, a couple of million? I'm sure you didn't read the River Cedar this week, and the River Cedar says that I'm going to be an Oshir. Aye, exactly. Well, that's another question. That's not my problem, that's your problem. Oh, that's what the Rebbe said. Ella, כפי שהוא כושר כל בקשה או זהו, או בראש בראשינו, הוא שייך לתרום זהו. Since he is זהו, he's able to give זהו. וזה, כאמור, נייסן היהודי הכוח לבנייסס המשכן. כי מכיוון שכל יהודי הוא זהו בעצם, וכל מציאוס ומאוחדת עם הקודש ברוך הוא, לכן יש לו את הכוח, כאומר לבני בייס להשם, כאן למטה, שלמה המלך had a shayla, the heavens can't contain you, it can be done. You understand? It can be done, because we're built-in mukbara, we have no akbaras, we are ashirim, so the Rebbe says, nakuda zu, nachoyna, b'miyuchad b'chaytish odo. Well, that becomes tremendously important. Itavki in the month of order, Shekain, al Chedishot Nema, Sheoz Mazolam Shel Israel Hu Bari. Yeah, the Gemara tells over there, after it says Keshem She Niknasov Mamaydim Kain She Kones Order Marbim, and then it says, yeah, Chedishot Bari Mazolam Shel Israel, and therefore if a Yid has a din with a non-Jew, he has called a din im Nochri, then he should put it off. If it comes up in Chodesh Or, he should in Chodesh Or, he should try to dry out. Or if he can, he should try and make it in order. Why? Because then Bori Mazolam Shel Israel. As they state, that's the lotion of the Gemara. So the Rebbe says, yeah, what's it does Bori Mazolam? The Rebbe asks the kasha, the Gemara says at the end of Masechta Shabbos that ain't Mazel Israel, that you don't have any Mazel, they're beyond the Mazolis altogether. Because the word Mazolis means that they're under the control of the heavenly body. He said, Goyim are underneath the Mazel, depends which Mazel you were born or where you belong with the Mazolis. Over Eden is ain't Mazel Israel. So the Rebbe said, what does the Pshat mean, ain't Mazel Israel? So he said, Ulam Rashi Masbir Hakavona. Rashi over there in Masechta Shabbos. Yeah, Shakavona hi Shemazolam Shal B'nai Yisrael. Yeah, Nitun Nosun L'Shinoim. Ein Mazel Yisrael means that the Mazel doesn't have the final power over you. By Nishit, by Umas or Elon, whatever their Mazel is, that's where they stay, always, permanently. He said, what does it mean, Ein Mazel Yisrael? Not that they don't have any Mazel, they do have a Mazel, but Alidei Tfilah, Alidei Schuz, Alidei Stocker, Alidei Limud, the Torah, they can change it. And that's what it means, Ein Mazel Yisrael, that the Mazel doesn't have a shlita over you because they can get the higher power. So the Rebbe said that's a very good shot, but it's a little bit not matim to order. So the Rebbe says, Mikivat shekol Yehudi hu be'etzem me'al teva. In other words, you can go into davening and things of that nature. V'ochen yesh b'koichoi al hidei tefillah u'kedema. You like stocker l'shanes es ha-mazel. He can alter his mazel. However, said the Rebbe, Achidush or Chodesh Order hu yesam izeh. The Chiddush in Chodesh Order is a lot more than that. לא רק שהמזל של יהודה ניתן לשינויים, אלא שמלכתחילה ללא כל מאמץ, not with any effort on part of the Yid, מזלו של יהודה עומד בתוקף ובמצב של בריא. And he called it body mazle means that in other it's malachatchila, you're higher than knowing for mazel, in a way that your whole mazel is very strong, and b'tuigev on your side. You understand? It's a different type of mazel altogether in Chodesh Order. So the Rebbe says, and now he's going to get on to, the Rebbe brings down over there, the Das Akanim from the Balei HaTeivos. They bring that the word Zahov is, the word Zahov is how do you call an acronym, a Rosh HaTeivos, Zeh HaNoisen Bari. That this person who is giving, he is Bari. That makes Zahov. So the Rebbe said, what says Zeh HaNoisen Bari? Meaning that he has got a Bari Mazle, and that's a connection with Pashut Truma to Odo, that he's Chatchila a Bari, he's a strong person that's Malachatchila beyond all the Mazals in Chodesh Odo. So he said, Achidush o Chodesh Odo hu oya, u'b'yishachas l'nema b'teres achsidas. It's one of the famous Chassidish shot that's put down in Chassidish b'shem Amagid, the Mezrich Amagid, that Ein Mazel Yisrael shall Mazel shall Yehudi hu Ayin. Yeah, Ayin means bittul. That they call it L'gamri l'mayla mi'agbolas. Yeah, Ein Mazel Yisrael really means Ayin Mazel Yisrael. Ayin is the Mazel of Yidden. Nitin lahovin shebechodesh order oimed Yehudi b'bittul muchlat gam kan mean down here in this world, that the world doesn't stop him, and his neshama teaches him to be completely bottled lagamri to the Eivishter. If you completely bottle lagamri to the Eivishter, then you're beyond all the mazolas, then you're completely mazol, and that's in him from Bari. He said, "Ki neshama beguf or b'yivshel Bari, v'zeu akesher yel parshas Tרומה, ki oisa is batlas l'Hashem, shekayim is b'Yehudi, particularly in Odo, noisenes lo is a koyach livnes is a mishkan, b'yuchad b'chodesh Adar." Everything comes together, Bori Muslim with the ganze Indian, with the whole Shleimas. Therefore the Rebbe goes on to develop this whole Indian further, that's the reason for the Simcha in order. And he said, if you're misbeinen, then you are you're beyond all the mazolas and all the limitations in order. And that you have this Indian from Bori, which means Chazak, and you are Makusha to the Eivishter Mitzad Matan Torah, and therefore you can throw your elbows around. How's that? You got koyat, to get things done. So the Rebbe said that's the best reason to be besimcha. Yeah, and that's in your simcha, border, which is also coherent together. And that's in Mashiach, Tzidkenu, is going to reveal. Mashiach will reveal every year that Makusha Be'etzim to the Eibishter, everything is built in Mukbal, and everything is completely beyond limitation, and he can achieve anything. Is therefore he can build a base of Midas Shlishi. And the Rebbe said that's our Mishkan that we've got to build. The Yidden and the Midbar, they had to build the Mishkan. We got the job of building the base of Mikdash Shlishi. And what's the kesher? The Rambam writes, there's a very amazing Rambam, but he writes that everybody in Hilchos, way in the middle of somewhere, I just forgotten exactly the Maram Mokim, that's a very one-on Lashon in the Rambam, that he says that everybody has to help with building the base of, the Hilchos base of Mechiva, sorry, the Hilchos base of Mechiva right near the beginning. He says that everybody has to help and assist to build Ki Mishkan She'oso Moshe B'Midbar. So the Rebbe said, what's the kesher? Exactly like everybody helped, everybody gave, and everybody was beyond limitation. It's not the new thing which had happened about Torah. That's exactly the way we are now. We got everything. We got Zohar, and the Rebbe said you may not have, a couple of million sloan or something in your pocket right now, but in the next few minutes you're going to have now we're going to build the base of Mikdash Shlishi. Taking me up now. That's was the completion of the whole thing.